Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of MMA Fight Picks with Ant and Jay. Today, we're going to be breaking down UFC Vegas. What is it? 59, Santos versus Hill. We have my man Jay back today this week, so it is not just me. You guys do not have to get bored with just my voice. But really, how you been? How was your week off? And
Good.
how's all that stuff?
Saw each other at a wedding. That was awesome. Yeah, ready to get back to it, bro. This is. I think this is gonna be a fun card. It's got a bunch of cool fights on it. Some angles I don't love, but yeah, I'm ready to dominate, man. Get back on track.
Yeah, for sure. I am with you on that one. I don't even really want to talk about the last card. I don't really remember how I was profitable, but it was small. I really don't remember what it was. I was at the wedding. I don't with you obviously. So I don't really remember how I did, and I didn't track anything. So
Yeah,
I don't really remember.
I made a couple bets. I think I had Pena, like a couple units on Pena, and that's pretty much the basis of it.
Yeah.
I didn't watch any of the fights. I mean, I caught up the other day, but I didn't watch them live.
Yep, that was me. So we'll just jump right in here. We'll really just kick off this card, start breaking it down, and go from there. See how things go tonight. But we're kicking off this first fight of the night with Mayra Bueno Silva against Stephanie Egger. Tail of the tape right here. Egger's 33, Silva's 30, same height, and Edgar will have the longer reach. So, I mean, outside the tail of the tape, these girls are pretty close. I mean, even the tail of the tape is pretty close. This fight is lined at about a pick'em right now. What is that? Yeah, minus 125 to plus 105. I'm not really sure what side I want to lean here. I've gone back and forth. Early in the week, I was on the Mayra Bueno Silva side. Right now, in the middle of the week, I'm kind of on the Stephanie Egger side, but not necessarily at minus 125. At the plus 120, that probably would have been real nice, but I don't know. I'm a big proponent of if the line opens up, Mayra Bueno Silva opened up close to 140, and now she's down to minus 10 or plus 105. I'm kind of a proponent of betting on people where they open up as the favorite and then the public is the reason why that the line flips, because there's a reason that person opened up as a favorite. Of course, it could just be the books want more money to come in on the other person, which is possible. They want money to come in on Edgar because they do think Silva's going to win, or it's really just they believe Silva's going to win and she's the better fighter. I don't know. I'm probably going to lean Silva here, but I sometimes think that if Edgar can get her to the ground, it's going to be a rough day for Mayra Bueno Silva. So I don't know. It goes back and forth. I'm going to sit on the fence right now. What do you think about this fight? And I'll give you an official pick after.
Yeah. So, this is going to be a close fight, I think. I've seen Silva. She's done some dumb things in the past. If you've watched her recent fights, but Egger has looked really good in the last two fights. So, I took the dog. I took like even money actually, so not technically dog money, but I took even money on Silva, just one unit. I just think she's gonna be the better striker, and I think that she's good enough to avoid dangerous positions with her jiu-jitsu on the ground, and she should be able to get up when she gets taken down. But I guess I kind of didn't really realize this, but she's going up in weight this fight. So I guess she originally was 125, like a few fights back. But yeah, that's my read.
Yeah, I think she fought Montana De La Rosa, right, at a lower weight class, if I'm not mistaken.
And Fiorot.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Fiorot's 125, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But then she fought Wu, and I think a weight up and won. So
Yeah, so that's definitely interesting. There's another fighter on this card that's also changing weight, so something to definitely look at. The only thing that really puts me on the Edgar side is Edgar really has really good judo throws. And I think if they get in the clinch, she'll be able to toss Myra Bueno Silva, similar to how Edgar was able to toss Jessica Rose Clark, get her on the ground, snapped her arm. She didn't snap it, but she armbarred her. I think if Edgar wins, that is how Edgar is going to have to win. I don't think she's going to win a striking battle. And I'm also a major proponent of the Shoot Box Diego Lima training camp. These guys
Charles Dubronx
have absolute savages. I mean, you got Dubronx, you got Alan Nascimento, you have there's so many guys on here that are just good that I'm not even going to sit here and scroll through, but like Daniel Santos, just a lot of UFC guys, a lot of other promotions.
For sure.
So, I mean, it's definitely, she's in a good training camp. There's another Brazilian women's fighter that's also, she just fought recently, and I can't think of her name, but she's also a part of that camp. I'm probably, so I guess I'll lean Silva here, but it's close. And if potentially Silva gets more plus money, I might throw on her too. But I just might want to sit back and watch this first fight and just kind of see how it plays out. I don't know this fight. I don't have a good read on this fight.
I'm kind of like, my kind of read is that Silva's going to keep it a striking battle. But if she starts getting, wrestled and taken down, judo throw, do you know what I mean? Like it's anybody's game at that point.
Yeah. I mean, they both fought decent competition. So that, I mean, I think Edgar's probably slightly higher because she fought Cortez and Jessica Rose Clark, but at the same time, Silva fought Miraz and fought Manafiorat. So they both have fought decent people. I don't know if one's better than the other.
Yeah.
It's the first fight of the night. Maybe violence is the way to go on this fight. Fight doesn't go, or
both are solid finishers.
Exactly. Both are solid finishers. On Bovada, fight doesn't go is plus 135. Under 2.5 is plus 170. So, I mean, if you think Edgar can get a first round sub or something like that, that might be a good move. Other than that, I probably would stay away. Yeah. I mean, even fight goes the distance is only minus 175. So if you think this fight goes the distance, that's a good, straight up play, minus 175. It's a little juiced, but I mean, you play it, it's not too bad. You can even parlay it with something else if you're confident. But these first fights of the night, I'm not too confident that we're going to keep getting. Most of these times we get finishes, so I don't like to bet on that kind of fight.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, long-winded answer for a very quick response. We'll move on to fight number 2. We have another women's MMA fight. We have Corey McKenna against Miranda Granger. Tail of the tape here is, I personally think it favors Granger. She's 7 years older. She has a 4-inch height advantage and a 10-inch reach advantage. So that is going to be significant. I think if we look back to the Elise Reed fight that McKenna had, everybody was saying like, hey, she's going to take her down. She's going to wrestle, blah, blah, blah. And I think a big thing that I'm learning with myself and placing bets is not relying on people to do something when I just really haven't seen them do it. Like how people were hoping Sean Strickland was going to wrestle Alex Pereira. Like, why? Yeah. Like, he doesn't wrestle. Corey McKenna, she takes such a long time to to use that grappling game. You look at her, who she's fought. Vanessa Demopoulos, that fight was on the ground, but that's what Demopoulos wants to do. Kay Hansen, again, that's what she wants to do. Elise Reed was able to keep it at range, was able to really pick Corey McKenna apart. McKenna did get takedowns at ease, but it was always at the end of the rounds. And so it really was just too late, and it really didn't matter because Elise Reed had won the rounds. McKenna it was a split decision, but that fight was in Europe. So, I mean, that was a sympathy. It was a 30-27. She got a 30-27, and that was one of the judges that gave her. And she definitely didn't win 3 rounds. So that was bad. I think in this fight here, I don't know. This is another one of those fights I just don't have a good read on. Like, I mean, like, if I'm going to put money on it, I would want to put money on the plus person just because, like, your comeback is better. But I don't want to just throw money out there for the sake of it. I mean, Granger, a year and 8 months off? She had a baby, I'm pretty sure. So potentially that can have its effects, but she's only 30, she's not like she's 33 or 34 or 35. Like, she's 30 years old. She just turned it 3 months ago. I'm gonna go Granger here. We've seen, I think, pretty consistently. I didn't go back and like actually look at this, but just based off my past memory, I want to say that at least the past like 7 or 8 cards, an underdog has won one of the first 2 fights. So I'm kind of leaning Granger here. And last thing, this is more of a narrative thing. This has nothing to do with fighting. If you recall, we just had UFC London. McKenna is essentially a UK fighter. She's from Wales. And she didn't make it on that card. She did not make it on that UFC London card. And what that reminds me of is Jack Shore. He didn't make it on that UFC London card. And what happened to him?
Got his ass choked out.
He lost. And so I think that this is if the UFC was really fucking with her, they would have put her on that UFC London card, because why not? Like, it wouldn't have hurt to put another fight on that card. And I don't really think they are. So I'm going to go Granger here. I don't know if I'll actually put a bet on it, but that's my pick.
Yeah, I'm literally the exact same. Like, it's dogger pass for me. Like, there's no way she should be minus 225 unless she literally just puts on a wrestling clinic and lays on her.
Exactly.
For 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And between that and the reach difference, it's got to be dogger pass for me.
Yeah, and
I don't, like you said though, I don't know if I'm gonna make a bet though. Like, I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
Probably won't.
For me, it's just one, it's the line. What is she, minus 220? That's just gross to me. And then secondly, she could easily look like a minus 220 fighter, but I think she has to go out there and wrestle, like you said, put that singlet on and go out and wrestle, which is possible. She could go out and do that, but I don't like I said, I don't like to back fighters when they just don't do it. Like, just show poor fight IQ. And if I'm honest, like, Team Alpha Male, like, these guys are kind of overrated. Like, Uriah Faber is a legend, but you really look at these guys.
Yeah.
Like, none of outside of Yadong Song. Yeah. Those are the 2 guys that are like real like studs coming out of there. And they get a lot of praise, but it's not like they're Samford, which is now Killcliff, or even James Krause's gym. Like, there's not a bunch of studs coming out of there.
Oh yeah, no way.
So yeah, I'm backing Granger here. It's really just dogger pass. I'm not betting on McKenna, and it really has nothing to even do with the Elise Reed fight and how she looked. And it just has everything to do with the fact that her fight IQ looks poor, and she doesn't really implement her number 1 skill set, which is wrestling. Like, if you don't implement what you're good at, like, how am I going to back you? It's like a striker who's shooting for takedowns. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm not with it. But we'll move on to this third fight of the night, get a little more exciting. I have a kind of a strong opinion on this, but not really. First off, I want to say when I saw the name Josh Quinlan, I don't know why, but I thought it was going to be like a ginger Irish dude, like super pale and white. Like, I don't know, but when I saw that he was like an Asian guy, I was super thrown off.
That's funny.
Tail of the tape goes, we have, let me pull this right there. We got Witt's 35, Quinlan's 29. It's going to be at the welterweight division. Quinlan 6 feet, Witt's 5'10, Quinlan 72-inch reach, and Witt 70. This fight right here, I mean, I think it's very, very, very straightforward. If Jason Witt can take Josh Quinlan down and hold him down for 3 rounds, he'll win. I mean, I think he'll win. He could have beat, same thing with Phil Rowe when he fought him. He held him down the whole first round. He won that round really easy, very convincingly. You look back to the Matt Semmelsberger fight, similar thing. I mean, literally all his fights are the same, literally the same thing. He first round is good, and then he literally gets you blow a little breath, and he gets knocked out. So, I mean, I have to pick Josh Quinlan here. It really just comes down to the fact that Jason Witt is like the least durable individual in all of the UFC. And I don't even say that with exaggeration. Like, I've never seen it's impressive at how he melts when he gets hit. And I'm sitting here just fucking talking. Like, if I got punched in the face, I would melt too. But I'm not in the UFC. So that's the difference. And it's just, I don't know. I can't back him. Like, he literally melts every single time he fights. But if you're a narrative guy, if you look at his fights, he's gone win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. So, you know, maybe he'll get that win there. I don't think it's going to be the case, but I don't have a bet on this fight either. Maybe Quinlan by KO, Quinlan inside the distance, because Witt always gets finished. I really haven't placed many bets on this card. I don't really like any of the spots. So I'm trying to be good with my bets and not get crazy, right? But
yeah.
I mean, the line is set at 1.5. So I don't really know. It's not going to go the distance.
I just don't know how, like, I mean, one Quinlan, I guess, was off 9 months for steroids or something like that.
Yeah, it was like Tyranobol or some shit.
Yeah, and Jason Witt, dude, like, my name's Jason, and I like, normally I'm rooting for the Jasons. Like, Jason Herzog's like my favorite ref, you know what I mean? And like, this guy's just cold breeze could knock him out. But yeah, he also gasses. That's another big thing. So you gas and you don't have a good chin. This guy hits like a truck and is pretty good. I think he has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but I could be wrong. And yeah, so I have him winning. I just have him parlayed with someone later. But yeah, I just don't see how he doesn't win. You know what I mean? Like, unless maybe like the steroids are that powerful or like helped him out that much, then I could be completely wrong. But I just don't see how he doesn't get touch his chin at least once, and it doesn't have to be like that hard of a shot. So I'm running Quinlan. I don't want to say I'm running it hard, but I'm running it a decent amount. One of the safer bets, I think, of the card.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always a good move to fade the guys who, I mean, can't take punches in the sport that requires you to get punched in the face. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a job requirement, and he doesn't have that requirement. Jason Witt.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you, but I mean, I was just looking at the line. It's untouchable, man. Quinlan inside the distance is -185 gross. Quinlan by KO -115. Quinlan by sub is +550. Now that's a little juicy if you think he gets a sub. I don't, but hey, if you're on that side and you think he gets a sub, I would go with that.
Could be a club and sub.
Exactly, could be a club and sub. So that's potential, but I mean, even Quinlan round 1 +150. Like, what? Like that's absurd. Like
Yeah, I just took the money line, dude. That's all
Yeah.
I'm.
Yeah, like it's just crazy. Like plus
I
150.
would not take any of those props. Those props are trash.
Yeah, that's not. I would definitely not advise for that either.
Because Jason Witt, like he's held people down for a whole round and then
That's what I'm
died.
saying. Like
You know
Philip
what I
Rowe,
mean?
like he held Phil Rowe down that whole first round, and
Yeah,
he even got him down in the second round. But Phil Rowe just literally got up one time and touched him like twice and just
I know. I had a
ended his
bet on him
life.
that fight. I'm like, dude, that is the easiest money I've ever made. Like, even though I was like stressed the whole first round, like as soon as he came out, he literally just touched him once on the chin and he just went out.
Yeah, I was like a little nervous, but I was like, it's Jason Way. All he needs to do is get punched once.
Right?
But yeah, we're both on the Josh Quinlan side. This is I think this fight's one of the more straightforward fights on the card, truthfully,
Yeah, for sure.
in terms of outcomes. All right, let's move on to what are we on, the fourth fight of the night or the fifth? Fourth.
Yep.
So we got Takashi Sato against Brian Battle. This is the other fight I was talking about a fighter moving weight. We have Brian Battle. He is dropping down from 185 down to 170. So this will be his first fight. I think his second fight ever it won't tell me here, but I want to say his first fight ever professionally was, actually, I don't know. That says 205. I don't know what weight he was. I swear I saw that he was 185 or 170 somewhere else. But that's beside the point. So Sato, 5 years older. The fight is at Sato's natural weight class. Sato will be the smaller man though, because he is a natural 170er compared to Battle, who is dropping down. And I mean, I think Battle's probably a natural 170 or 2. Just looking at his body, he's not really built like a 185er. So
yeah, for sure.
I think this might be a good move for him. This fight right here, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a dog or pass situation for me right here, for two reasons. First off, Brian Battle himself, I don't think he's he's okay, but I don't think he's great. He's a volume striker. He has some grappling, some jiu-jitsu. He can definitely submit people. And I mean, Takashi Sato has been submitted many times before. But I will say his last fight against Gunnar Nelson was impressive. Like Gunnar Nelson literally had him in a body triangle and was going for his neck for 15 minutes, and Sato never gave up his neck. My bad. Sato never gave up his neck. Sato never faltered. I mean, he's training out of Sanford, which is Killcliff FC. I just think that Battle's also hittable. You know, he has like I wouldn't say like a 45% striking defense, which is well below average. I mean, Sato does have power. So, I mean, maybe fight doesn't go the distance for this one. Might be a decent choice, or like under 2.5, whatever the line is set at. But I kind of like Sato in this spot. I think that he'll be able to defend the submissions. He showed improvement in his last fight. And if he can touch Battle, I definitely think there's a potential for him to be for him to lose, for Battle to lose, that is, and for Sato to win. So I'm going to side Sato here. It's not uber confident. And again, I don't have a bet on it right now, but I'm leaning Sato just because, I don't know, the tough guys from last season, they just haven't shown up. I mean, you look at Gore, you look at Ricky Tercios. I mean, Brian Battle's the only one who's really done anything. And even then, like, who's he beat? He beat Gilbert Urbina and he beat Tresean Gore. Like, he hasn't beat anybody in the UFC yet. And so.
And after seeing the way Gore went out to Cody Gunbridge, just straight like jabbed him near.
Exactly. And I mean,
how could he not put him out? Like
exactly. And Gore beat up Battle, bro. Like Battle's eyes was shut, his lip was busted, hands bruised, like everything. He was beat up. And so I mean, I think Sato definitely has a shot, and I'm gonna roll Sato on this one.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna be on the other side, but I don't want any part of his line or anything like that. So I don't think, like you said, I don't think he's going to get the sub off. He's going to have to win minutes outside or like holding him down. I think Sato, like you said, has got good defense when it comes to that. He might be prone to being held in the same position and being controlled, but I also think that, one, we got to see Brian battle on the scale. Two, I don't know. Yeah, I just really don't think he's as good as we think too, just because like he really hasn't fought that good a competition. That season was no one's really shown to be too talented. So yeah, I'm gonna have to side with you again. But I mean, I'm gonna say I think Brian Battle wins, but like I totally like I want no part of it. Like the value is 100% Sato, so.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Sato has been submitted. Like I look at his record right now, quite literally all of his losses, or this past 4 losses, or 3 of his 4 losses, sorry, have been submissions. He got choked out, rear naked choked by Bilal. He got choked out by Miguel Baeza, and then Gunnar Nelson couldn't finish him. So I really just think that we potentially just saw an evolution in his game. I mean, he took a 1.5 years off between the Miguel Baeza fight and the Gunnar Nelson fight, or about a little over a year and 3 months. I think he probably worked on a submission game. He was like, that's how I'm losing these fights. Let me work on that. So yeah, I'm leaning Sato. I think he can defend those submissions and potentially either finish battle or maybe scrape out a decision. But I'm not super confident in that pick. I do like just fight doesn't go the distance. Think I like that. Bovada has that plus 105, which isn't bad. For fight doesn't go.
Oh, okay.
Plus 105 for fight doesn't go. It was plus 125 like a day or two ago. I didn't pull the trigger, but plus 105 is still not bad. I mean, for Sato who has been finished a lot, and so it's definitely potential for that outcome to happen.
For sure.
We'll move on to the next fight. We have the 5th fight of the night. We have the highly anticipated Terrence McKinney against Eric Gonzalez. McKinney is sitting at a minus 1,000, the biggest favorite on the card by a mile. Tail of tape goes, McKinney is 3 years younger at 27. They'll be the same weight, obviously, fighting at lightweight. McKinney will be smaller, and the reach will be the same. I'll let you go first here, and then I will.
I mean, McKinney should, I think, absolutely destroy this man. But for me, betting wise, it's dog or pass. Like, there's no way you could touch minus 1,000 first round. Like, minus 150 probably. I think maybe plus 150. I think.
I'll check for you.
Yeah, and so I just don't know how I can lay that money on McKinney because he doesn't have that good of a chin either. I've seen him get finished multiple times before. I've seen him get stopped. So I'm going to have to say dog or pass betting wise. I don't want to touch this fight. But I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of hoping Gonzalez beats him. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It would be pretty crazy if he wins. I mean, anybody laying minus 1,000 on Terrence McKinney, you're just
go to jail.
Yeah,
you need to go to jail.
Like, I don't care. Terrence McKinney's not like, he's cool, but he's not that good of a fighter. Like, he has 1 round of cardio. How are you backing a guy minus 1,000 with 1 round of cardio? First off, secondly, like
that's a great point. I meant to mention that.
Like, he has 1 round of cardio, and like if this goes to the second round, like, and you laid minus 1,000, you're probably sitting there shitting fucking bricks. Like, what did I just do? And so you look at it and like, who's he outside of Faraz Ziam when he choked him out. That was impressive, I will say. I mean, Matt Frivola, that finish was impressive, but that was just so quick that those quick finishes like that, I don't really know how to rate those because, I mean, anybody can just get caught when you're really like, dude just came out storming to dunk dunk sleep.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was super crazy. I just don't know how to really rate that. Like, how often is that ever going to happen again? You know?
Yeah.
1 out of 100 times, 1 out of 50. Like, it's so slim. And then, I mean, all of his fights, he's been to the third round 1 time, been to the second round once or twice. I really think that if this fight gets out of the first round, Eric Gonzalez is live. And not because I think he's super talented. I just think McKinney will get tired. And he could have learned from that Dober fight, but when someone fights the way they fight, you have 16 fights and all of them have finished inside the distance. Like, that's your style, you know, like that's not something that's going to change. Like, that's who you are as a fighter. And he is 27, so he could develop, he could get calmer, he could, you know, mellow down. But I don't really know if I could bank on that. And then you look at Terrence McKinney's line, literally, bro, inside the distance, minus 470. So, I mean, if he's going to win, it's going to be inside the distance. So, if you're going to bet on McKinney, I would rather bet minus 470 than minus 1,000.
Yeah.
But, I mean, by KO, plus 120, can't do it. By submission, plus 125, can't do it. So, it's just not like how's he going to finish this guy? I don't know. I guess you could play both of those, sub and KO, and you'd profit minimally, you know, because it's both plus money. So I mean, you bet $100 on each of those, you come away with like $20 or $25 or something. But it's still, I'm not a huge fan of this fight.
Sorry. I was just gonna say I fully expect Terrence McKinney to probably destroy him in the first minute and a half, 2 minutes. But I like the price isn't nowhere near worth betting on. And like you said, if he doesn't, then Eric.
I mean, first round is minus 200. First round KO is plus 200. So I mean, in first round submission is plus 175, which is interesting because then I find that interesting because the submission prop is worse odds, is plus 125, right? But the round 1 sub is plus 175, but the KO is plus 200. And then KO for the fight's plus 120. So basically, they think if it happens in round 1, it's more likely to be a sub. But if the fight, if there's a finish just in general, they seem to think that McKinney will more likely get a knockout. So it's kind of interesting how
that is interesting
to look at that. And then you go to round 2, his KO prop is 1,000 and his submission prop is plus 950. So yeah, they must think that a sub is more likely because these round props have subs as better or worse odds than the KOs.
Yeah. And then, you know, dude, the thing that's annoying to me is like McKinney's already like, it seems like, yeah, I'm going to fight Patty Pimblett in, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Like, dude, you're fighting abroad like a week or two, bro. Like, chill.
Yeah. He's definitely trying to look ahead. And I don't think he's of that talent or caliber, but
yeah,
the UFC's not. I mean, this guy got knocked out by fucking Jim Miller.
Yeah, he left his head out there just straight, like, just punch me in the face. Like,
if you're getting knocked out by Jim Miller, like, I don't see why Terrence McKinney can't absolutely smash you. But yeah, I can't trust the cardio. Like, not just that. It's not even the cardio, bro. It's really just the minus 1,000. Like, have we ever seen a minus 1,000 on a win? On like, it was like Monday, he was minus 1,000.
Yeah, and a guy that's coming off a loss too.
Yeah, and he's coming off a loss, which is where he showed that if he blows his load, he gets fucking winded and he's done. So what if he goes crazy, doesn't finish Gonzalez? Then what does he have left? We will have to see, right?
Yeah.
But we'll move on to that next fight. The McKinney-Gonzalez fight is definitely probably one of the more exciting fights on the card. But just from a betting perspective, it's rough.
for sure.
Wait, is this the next fight? Did I click the right one?
Yeah, Alvi is the next fight.
Okay. I just realized I did not make a banner for this one fight. That's why I was confused.
Well, it's another ridiculous line.
Yeah, it is. So we have Mikhail Olejanchek versus Sam Alvey. Sam Alvey's on a long losing streak, like 7-8 fights. Mikhail Olejanchek is he's 3-2 in his last, or 2-3 in his last 5 fights. He's 9 years younger. He's moving down to 185 for this fight. Looks like Sam Alvey will also go back down to 185 for this fight. He fought his last fight short notice, but he's normally 185er. Mikhail will be smaller, height and reach. I mean, this fight's super straightforward to me. I think Sam Alvey loses. I think Sam Alvey probably gets knocked out. Would not be surprised. I'm picking Mikhail here. I just don't. You can't bet on Sam Alvey. So this is literally just like this is the most straightforward fight on the entire card. Is you either bet the dude Olejanchek by KO or inside the distance, whatever you want, or just leave this shit alone.
The max unit bet on Sam Alvey. No, I'm playing. There's no way. Yeah, minus 700 though already. Yeah, I think it should be more like minus 400, minus 450. But that's just me. No value in that.
Yeah, the public just throwing money at it.
Yeah, he should for show get knocked out.
Yeah, I mean the under set at 1.5. Over is minus 170. Under is plus 130.
Yeah, unless like Sam Alvey starts pulling off some jiu-jitsu shit, which isn't his type of style really.
No, which is not him. Yeah, this is definitely just. I mean, Alvey's here collecting checks, bro.
Like, man gets paid a lot of.
Yeah, like what is
75 to show / win.
Yeah, so he's showing up to collect fights.
And they already said this is his last fight too.
Exactly. So you see those guys, the retirement fights, they lose majority of the time. You rarely ever see people in this sport specifically.
Oh yeah,
go out on top.
We're not getting Tom Brady's.
No, we're not getting Tom Brady. We're not getting Khabib, retiring in his prime. Like, this is a guy who's 36 years old I'm about to see how many fights this is because I don't even know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losses and a draw. So how does he get so many canceled fights? Like what? Phil Haas, Ian Hines, Zach Cummings, Ryan.
They're running from him, bro. They're running from him.
Jeez, so many. I know.
He's been in the UFC for a minute.
He has. I mean, so he hasn't won in 8 fights.
Wife was on America's Next Top Model or some shit.
Yeah, she is a model. I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere someone say that.
He's got a good life.
Yeah. So
it sounds like MMA's life has passed by him though.
It's passed by him years ago. So I mean, yeah, we're going Mikhail here. It's pretty straightforward. We'll move on to the next fight. Fight number 7. Is this the first fight on the main card? It sure is. First fight on the main card. We got Ariane Lipski versus Priscilla Cachoeira. This right here will be a fun fight to kick off the card, or the main card that is. Cachoeira is 33. She's 5'7", 65-inch reach. We have Lipski, 28, 56-inch reach, or 5'6" height, 67-inch reach. Jeez. I'm picking the dog here. I'm picking Priscilla Cachoeira. She's a dog, bro. I just think that Lipski, her nickname is Queen of Violence, but I mean, her last fight against Mandy Bohm, she beat her. It was a convincing victory, but it wasn't like overly impressive. Bohm wasn't like destroyed. It just wasn't impressive to me. You look at Priscilla Cachoeira. I really just think that she's low-key underrated because her striking defense is so trash. Like, her striking defense is bad, yes, but do I think that Lipski is gonna be the one to necessarily expose her / stop her? No. I did think Cachoeira lost to Ji Young Kim, but that doesn't really matter. You look at her fights. Also, she has a ton of power for the 125 division. Lipski doesn't have that power like Cachoeira does. And I mean, Lipski is one of those pretty girls in the UFC that I think the UFC likes to have, because you need. As horrible as it sounds, you have a lot of men watching this sport and they want to just look at pretty girls. Like, it's awful. And I feel like I don't feel that way, but there's a lot of men out there who feel that way. And Lipski fits that mold. She's a pretty fighter. So I can see why people are on her. But I'm on Cachoeira. I really just think her style and also her cardio. Her cardio is like fucking amazing. She can go 15 minutes like no other. Where Lipski got tired against Bohm in that third round. Bohm started touching her up. Bohm started putting some work on her. So I'm going Cachoeira here. What do you think, man?
I'm on the Lipski side. I do have a small bet on her. It's too many WMA fights on here. They're tempting me. I think she's more talented striker. I think Priscilla's she blocks punches with her face kind of. But with that being said, you make good points that Ariane Lipski could get tired. She could get finished by her. I don't think that will happen, but you never know. It's WMA. You make good points. Cachoeira's a stud. She's not going to get finished, I don't believe.
Yeah.
So that's why I have my bet actually is her by decision, Lipski.
Yeah, I mean, I think if she wins, that's exactly how she wins the fight. Yeah, I mean, I just looking at Cachoeira's record, you look at her wins, pretty much all of them are finishes. Not all, but I would say about half or a little bit more than half are finishes. So, I mean, yeah, I think if Ji Young Kim wasn't as tough, she probably would have got finished because she got hit with some brutal elbows, I will say. She really did get hit with some brutal elbows in that fight. I definitely could see a finish here. If there is a finish, I believe it's on the Cachoeira side, but I don't see Cachoeira getting finished. Excuse me, fucking yawns. But one other thing I will point out is just Lipski trains like in Vegas. I'm pretty sure. Or else Huntington Beach, not King. I think King's a syndicate. Never mind. Forget what I was going to say. I'm taking Cachoeira here. I was going to say just the traveling. She's fighting in Vegas. She's here. She's used to it.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean,
LA is not far, so.
No, yeah.
But yeah, so I'm going Cachoeira here. That's the way we go.
Yeah, and you got the
Lipski.
Queen of Violence. The Queen of Violence. Get it right. Come on.
Sorry, my bad. Queen of Violence. All right, next fight, we got some big boys right here. We got Augusto Sakai versus Sergey Spivak. This fight right here, let's just break down the tail of the tape. First, Spivak is going to be 4 years younger. He's going to be the smaller man in terms of weight. You just look at the last time they weighed in. Sakai is like a true heavyweight. He's coming in right there at the heavyweight limit, 163. And Spivak is coming in at 243. Height-wise, both 6'3". Reach-wise, the 78-inch reach versus the 77. I think it's kind of funny. His gym is the Polar Bear team. His nickname is Polar Bear. Kind of funny. But
it's funny.
I'm going Spivak here. I think it's pretty simple. I was pretty high on Sakai when he came into the UFC. When he fought, I think it was Marcin Tabora when he fought. And I was like, okay, like you had a good victory. Tabora is a solid fighter. Good job. And then he went out there and had the split decision against Ivanov, which is, I mean, not a bad win either. Ivanov comes out and figures out a way to win. But then, you come out and you lose to Overeem, who is pretty fucking washed at that point. Rosenstruck just deleted him. And then Tai Tuivasa did the same thing. And I believe Spivak is going to do exactly what Ty and what all these other boys were doing. That he's going to not submit him. So he's going to knock him out. He even could take him down, similar to how Spivak finished Greg Hardy. Took him down, slammed him, ground and pounded him. I think this is Spivak's fight to lose. I do think Spivak is a solid, just money line bet if you don't mind laying a little bit of juice. I mean, he's at, what is Spivak at? Like minus 250
on Bavati. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not. I mean, it's obviously juice, but there's worse spots on this card that, I mean, I'd rather lay minus 250 here than 275 on Brian Battle. Like, if that kind of.
I would agree.
If you're gonna have to pick and choose. I mean, KO even by Spivak is probably an even better decision, truthfully, an even better bet. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of Sakai. I don't think he's that. I mean, I think he's got solid hand speed, but I don't think he has too much power. I mean, he has some knockouts on his wins, so don't get me wrong. He's got some good wins, but for some reason, I don't think he's that good. And I also think he's been brutally finished, like 3 fights in a row for the past 2 years. Every time he got in the octagon, he'd get brutally knocked out. Especially the last one against Tuivasa, like it was brutal. So yeah, I agree. I don't have anything on this fight, but I fully expect Spivak to probably get him down at some point and ground and pound him or something like that. But it's heavyweight. You never know. But I also think Spivak's kind of entering his prime, and he knows what he's good at and what he's not good at, and he's probably going to attack him with a smart game plan, because he's also, I think, in syndicate now with the guy that's I'm forgetting his name right now, but he's a great coach. He's Ngannou's head coach. So yeah, I'm definitely on the Spivak side too. Probably by finish KO again.
Yeah. That's Extreme Couture.
Extreme Couture. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
Syndicate's John Wood and Joanne Woods husband.
Yep. You're right, 100%.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. You're right. He is training there. The only other thing I'll point out is, like, you look at who Spivak has lost to.
Yeah, it's like Tom Aspinall.
He lost to Tybura, which Sakai beat Tybura. So if you want to do MMA math, you'd be like, oh, Sakai's going to win. But that was almost 3 years ago. Sakai was a different fighter. Spivak was a different fighter. So I don't really put too much stock into that. But you never know.
Spivak also finished Tuivasa, and the math doesn't really make sense for this fight. MMA math. It never really makes too much sense, but specifically for this fight.
Exactly. Like, you hit a nail on the head. Like, he finished Tuivasa, but they lost to Tybura. Sakai beat Tybura, got brutally finished by Tuivasa. So it's like, like what do you really know? But yeah, I'm on the Spivak. I think he's a pretty safe lock on this card. We'll move to the next fight here. We're jumping to the Ultimate Fighter fights. We have Juliana Miller versus Brogan Walker. So I'm going to be honest with you. I did not finish this season of The Ultimate Fighter. I kind of forgot about it. And yeah. This fight right here, tail of tape, Brogan's going to be older. She's 7 years older. She's going to be the shorter woman. So it's interesting. I'm going to go Brogan Walker here. I'm going to go Walker. I think that she's just better right now. You look at her record, she's 7-2. She has the more experience. You look at Juliana Miller. I think she has all the talent in the world. She's a very talented woman, but when you only have 3 pro fights, I just think she needs more experience. And when I'm looking at Walker and I'm looking at the line, like minus 105, minus 115, it's just so close. It's a pick 'em for a reason. But I'm just going Brogan Walker because I think the experience and her age just kind of trump the inexperience of Miller, and that lack of experience we always see. It shows in the octagon when you're fighting out there. So I'm gonna go Walker here. I think she's just better right now, and the experience is a big factor for me.
So I am going to be on the Miller side, but I definitely kind of agree with all the points that you have about how she's probably more skilled fighter right now, like in terms of her overall MMA game. But the thing that I think is going to do it for me is Miller's kind of got like, and I only know this because I've watched every episode except for the last one, so I need to catch up and watch the last one probably later tonight or tomorrow. But Miller's got dog in her, man. She got that bark in her. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
So I'm gonna lean on that and her like not getting tired and her finishing the final 2 rounds out strong. But during the Ultimate Fighter series, pretty much Brogan kind of had a bum knee. So she was winning all these fights with the bum knee. So you know, I mean, like. I truly think this fight might be going in the split decision direction.
Yeah,
so whoever wins is probably going to win by a split because it's going to be really close, not only on the feet but also like on the ground too. Yeah, because like Miller might throw more volume, but I think Brogan will probably hit the cleaner shots. But neither of them should finish each other.
Yeah, so. I mean, they're both pretty solid BJJ practitioners. So, yeah, I mean, I think the ground game should cancel each other out. But like you said, I think Miller will have the higher volume. Walker will have the crisper strikes, maybe win the moments. But, yeah, it's going to be – it should go to decision. I don't see a finish happening here. So, definitely a decision for me. And, I mean, the line is –
I don't even see the split decision.
Yeah, it's not out yet. I mean – Fight goes the distance is minus 135. So, I mean, minus 350. So,
okay. Yeah, I was like, damn, I need to get on that. Like,
no, I really put a 1 in front of the minus 350 and said minus 135. But it's minus 350.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, over 2.5 is minus 385. So, it's not really anything that's really interesting. I mean, if you're someone out there who likes to parlay a bunch of stuff, that might be a decent like minus 350 parlay with McKinney minus 1,000 and Mikhail Olajaychuk or whatever for minus 700, and you probably still aren't close to you probably aren't plus money, but closer. But I don't like doing any stuff like that. I'm just talking out my ass just for people who do like to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're on the Miller side, I'm on the Walker side. We'll move on to the next fight. We have the men's side of the Ultimate Fighter. We have Zach Palga against Mohammed Usman. This fight right here is interesting. I don't have like a strong take, but I kind of have a strong lean, I guess. Usman is 33 years old. He is going to be the taller man, and he should be the longer man as well. Palga is a natural light heavyweight. He's fought at 205 pretty much his whole fighting career in those 5 fights. Just to get this over with, I'm picking Usman here. I think he's a legit heavyweight. I mean, he's 6'2", he's 240. Like, he's an actual heavyweight fighter. I think if Palga makes it to the UFC, like, is he going to bulk up and become like this big heavyweight guy? Is he going to be like Chris Daukaus, where he's like an undersized heavyweight? Is he going to drop down to light heavyweight? Like, I don't really know. I feel like there's a lot of question marks with him. You also look at him. He's been fighting professionally for how long? Like a year. You know what I mean? Like, he's been training since 2019, his first amateur fight. He has 2.5, 3 years of just fighting experience. I don't really like to bank on that. And then a little narrative that I'll just run with is Muhammad Usman's Kamaru Usman's brother. If this goes to a decision, like, why wouldn't they be like, let's just, give Usman a little love because his brother? Why else is this guy here? You know what I mean? Like, why is he on the Ultimate Fighter? Why is Muhammad Usman on the Ultimate Fighter? I mean, I think we all know why. He made it this far for a reason.
He didn't want a split decision on the show.
Yeah, exactly. He wanted a split decision on the show. So I just think he's going to win this fight. I think it's kind of set up for him to win this fight, kind of the narrative wise. And then you just look at their body size. Like, he's just such a bigger man that it's not even close. And in the heavyweight division, size is such like a big discrepancy if you're that much bigger. So, I mean, if he's coming in 40 pounds heavier, like, Haagen's going to have problems.
For sure. I also lean the Usman side, no bet. Once again, we'll see how my early WMMA bets go. I might place a unit or a half unit on Usman. Like you said, I mean, Zach Paga, he's weighing in like around 220s, like late 220s, early 230s, and Usman is laying in like damn near 240.
Mm-hmm.
People talk about like he should have a major power advantage, and I honestly, for heavyweights, it doesn't seem like neither of them hit too hard.
No, they don't, right? I didn't think so either.
So I also like you said, I think they might be setting Usman up to win just because they think it would be great to have two brothers that are fight in the UFC. But yeah, there really isn't like Paga's got good form. He's probably gonna be a little bit quicker, but Muhammad Usman's got a good chin. He's a tough guy. I think he'll still weather the storm. And he doesn't really he might tire a little bit, but he still throws good volume no matter what. And both of these guys have good volume for heavyweight. So I definitely see it going to decision, and I definitely could see it going to a split decision too, because all the fights almost in the on the Tough show were pretty close, except for there's a really old there's a 44-year-old dude, and there's a couple
and the really
women's fights,
the super chubby heavyweight fighter.
Yeah. And he almost knocked out the guy that Paga won that went to the chip or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. Anyways, but yeah. Dogger pass for me.
Yeah. I just think these, like you said, the split's a good choice too, because these guys aren't really high level. So,
but yeah, let's see if they have that. I don't think they do.
No. But I mean, if you fight goes the distance, it's plus 110, so it's not a bad bet. I mean, Muhammad by KO is literally plus 500. They clearly don't think he's a hard hitter.
Yeah.
How many heavyweight fights do you get where the guy's plus 500? Not many.
No.
Not on a KO, not a KO at least.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm leaning Usman here. Sounds like you are pretty much same dogger pass situation. So
yeah,
I'm less of a dogger pass and more I'm actually on the Usman side, and I'll probably end up betting it. I mean, plus 200 is nice, and I think it might even go up a little more.
Well, I mean, I think it's such a close fight. That's why I think it's dogger pass. If Usman wins, I think it'll be like a 29-28 or a split, and the same goes with Paga, just because they both keep coming.
That's fair. I think, and one other thing I'll mention is on the Ultimate Fighter, these guys normally only fight 2 rounds, so it'll be interesting to see what they look like fighting all 3.
So yeah, you're totally.
All right, we'll move on to this last fight. Or not last fight, second to last fight, co-main. We got Vicente Luque against Jeff Neal. Tail of the tape, Luque is younger, which I was honestly surprised about. I thought Neil was definitely going to be the younger fighter. Height-wise, reach-wise, they're pretty much identical. Tail of the tape is pretty damn identical. Luque is more experienced, so there is that. I have a bet on this fight. I have a bet on Luque. I really just don't think Jeff Neal is that good. And I think that his path to victory is pretty much, I mean, I don't want to say his KO is his only path to victory, but I feel like it is low-key his only path to victory. I mean, he beat Ponzinibbio, but Ponzinibbio was putting it on him in the second half of the second round and a decent amount of the third round. I think Luque is going to be pressuring him a lot. And I see a lot of people like refer back to the Bilal Muhammad fight and say that he gave Luque problems, which he did, but he gave Luque problems because Luque knew that the takedown was a thing. He knew the takedown was possible. So yeah, he openly admitted that the southpaw of Bilal Muhammad gave him issues. But I also think that nobody's taken into account that he was low-key scared to get taken down because he knew he wasn't getting up. And I've also seen people say, like, when he gets on his back, he doesn't do anything. But Bilal Muhammad literally has ragdoll every opponent that he's fought the past, like, 3 or 4 fights. Like, that's literally just what Bilal Muhammad does. Like, that's his style, and that's how he wins fights. And he beat Luque that way. I don't know why everybody's freaking out about it. Like, that's how Bilal Muhammad wins. Like, it's not like he knocked Luque out. I don't know. And then you look at Jeff Neal. I think he has quick hands. I think he'll be slightly quicker than Luque. His footwork is solid. He trains at Fortis MMA, which is a good camp with Saif Saud. So there is that aspect of it where I definitely believe Neal will have good coaching, a good game plan. I just think this is the perfect fighter for Luque because Luque loves to take one to give one. And Luque's chin is fucking granite. And sure, Jeff Neal might be able to hit him, but Luque's going to be swinging right back. I think Luque has submissions in his arsenal. He has KOs. He has power. And he has potential decision equity. I'm not sure if he has more decision equity than Neal, but I think he has 3 ways to win this fight, opposed to Neal really has. I think he would have to KO Luque, and I don't see that happening. So, I mean, I think decision is really the only way Neal wins this fight, where I think Luque has 3 different ways to win this fight: decision, KO, or sub. And so that's the way I'm leaning. And last thing I'll say is I've seen a lot of people say that Luque struggled with southpaws when he fought Thompson and Leon Edwards, but like Jeff Neal isn't even the same fucking conversation as Wonder Boy or Leon Edwards. Like, not even the same breath. Like, not even like it's not even like, why are we even bringing them up? You know what I mean? Like, it's just pointless. So I mean, sure, you can say those guys were effective against Luque, but are they on the striking level as Jeff Neal? Like, is Jeff Neal on their level? Fuck no. So that's pretty much how I'm feeling. I think Luque is going to smash him, truthfully. I could be totally wrong, but I don't know. I think this is a fight where the UFC, they want it to be a banger. They want it to be a finish. And only one guy out here really has the potential to get finished. I think it's Neal. So that's how I'm leaning on this fight.
Yeah, so I am also on the Luque side, but after thinking about it and watching some tape, actually Neal beat Muhammad. It was back in 2019, like in January, so it was a long time ago. But so I thought that was funny. But yeah, I think that, like you said, if Neal wins, it's probably by decision, and if Luque wins, it's probably going to be a finish. But he's like got 1 decision, I think, on his. He beat Mike Perry by a split. So I think that he might be able to catch a submission, and I'm hoping so because I have him parlayed with the Quinlan dude. And that's kind of like my biggest bet of the card.
Yeah.
So I'm that's what I fully expect them to get into, like a crazy exchange, and then Vicente Luque grabs his neck at some point. But if not, then it's probably just going to be Jeff Neal's like staying on the outside and hitting them with some good shots, and they're going to be like, oh my God, look at Luque's chin once again.
Yeah.
So I am on the Luque side. I'm not as confident as I was originally when I made the bet, but I don't like to back out of bets, especially when you end up being right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm totally riding Luque, and I hope he wins.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing that what puts me on Luque's side is just strength of schedule.
Yeah.
He's fought way better people. I mean, you look at Jeff Neal, who he's fought, like before that Bilal Muhammad fight, he fought Frank Camacho, Brian Camozzi, Chase Walden. Like, who the fuck are these guys? And then he beat Bilal Muhammad, beat Nico Price, beat Mike Perry.
Frank Camacho, we saw get knocked out.
Yeah,
just the UFC. Yeah,
exactly. Then he lost to Stephen Thompson, lost to Neil Magny, and then beat Ponzinibbio. I just really don't think he's. I mean, he's fought
both
good
lost
people.
to Stephen Thompson. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when he's fought top level competition, he lost. Bilal Muhammad, after he took that loss, Bilal Muhammad has gone on like a uber win streak. So I mean, that was a good win against Bilal Muhammad. Yeah. But I think Bilal Muhammad kind of has found his groove and realized like I can't sit here and strike.
Yeah.
And he's changed.
I gotta mix it up.
He's changed his whole fighting style after that fight. So I think it's a little bit different. Yeah, I'm on the Luque side, but I do agree. Neal will be able to bounce around the outside, and it might be a long night for Luque if he just can't get to him.
Yeah.
But I think that we'll see Luque almost go in there kind of aggressively because he knows that takedowns are not as big of a threat. And even if Neal shoots for takedowns and goes for him, like his ground game and all that's not like Bilal Muhammad. So
for sure.
I mean, like Chiesa took him down and he was, Chiesa had his back, then he reversed it and got Chiesa in the darce. So,
yep.
And Chiesa's super slick on the ground and is a good wrestler. So I don't see why. I mean, I think this is one of those fights that people are low key overthinking. But yeah, that we'll see on Saturday.
Yes, we will.
That's why we do this. All right, we'll move to this final fight of the night. We got Thiago Santos versus Jamahal Hill. Tail of the tape, Santos is 7 years older, 2 inches shorter, and 3-inch reach disadvantage. This fight is pretty straightforward for me. I have Jamahal Hill. I mean, he's younger, he's longer, he's taller, he has more volume. I think right now he probably has more power than Santos has. I literally think he's just better at all aspects of mixed martial arts at this point. And that's not to discredit Santos at all. He's just 38 years old and he's torn his ACL, 2 or 3 times. He's had like gruesome surgeries and stuff. At 38 years old, bad knee injuries, you haven't really had an impressive win in a long time. His last win was against Johnny Walker, and that fight was awful. That was literally those guys just stood around and did nothing. I mean, Thiago Santos's fights are normally boring. Like if you look at them, they've just been really, really boring, except for the John Jones fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think Jamahal Hill's probably gonna knock him out. I don't know if it'll be round 1, but round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, or 5. I think Jamahal Hill's putting his ass to sleep.
Yeah, I think it's as simple as that too. Like Santos is seems like he's washed. He's kind of hesitant to throw heavy shots anymore, and he probably doesn't have the same power he used to after. He completely. I think he tore like everything in his knee that one John Jones fight. Like, so,
and then got hurt again and did it again. So
yeah, he's 6'2". He's gonna have a shorter reach. He's gonna be shorter than him. I wish I'd gone in a little earlier because I know there's you could have probably played Hill straight up earlier in the week around minus 200 or something like that. But at 300, I don't really want to touch it. But I'm gonna probably have like probably like a D-Gen parlay with him by KO or something like that, because that's what it should be. Like if Santos survives 5 rounds with this guy, and also it's not out of the realm of possibility that Santos hits him with the most blessed like counter shot ever. You know what I mean? And somehow stops him because like
He hurt
Hill,
Ankalaev. Remember
yeah,
he dropped Ankalaev that one too.
yeah, he did. And then Hill isn't like the like he's there to be hit. So I'm totally on the Hill side, but I also don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Santos can pull some shit out of his ass.
Sorry, I'm making this face because I'm looking at the live lines right now.
Mm-hmm.
This bird Jamahal Hill opened up on BetMGM. They must have fucking typoed this. BetMGM at plus 210.
No way.
Everything else I'm looking at minus 270, 270, 280, 290, 270.
I feel like I saw him at minus 220, but I could be wrong.
I mean, I'm looking back to July 25th. And on July, literally July 25th, he was plus 210 at 1232. At 1236 minus 275. So either
guy put the account on it.
Literally, either someone put their account on that shit, or the person who made this line realized, oh shit, I put plus 210 for the wrong person. You know what I mean? I meant to put that on Santos.
Probably. Yeah, that's probably what it was.
If someone got that line, though, if you got Jamahal Hill at plus 210, oh my God. You'd be sitting I'd be sitting at home like this, like, what steak am I having tonight? What kind of wine? Like, I'll be eating good tonight.
Facts.
Yeah, we're going Jamahal Hill here. So, yeah, I have 2 bets on this card. I have 1 bet Luque, and I have 1 bet Luque and Jamahal Hill. So as you guys can see, I am heavy on Luque. I know some things about this guy, Jeff Neal, that I'm not going to get into on here because for the safety of my friend. But I will say that this man, Jeff Neal, is not worried about fighting as much as I think he should be. And so that's my 2 bets. A couple other things I do like. I like that Brian Battle fight doesn't go the distance at plus money. It's like plus 105. I like Priscilla Cachoeira as a dog. I like Usman as a dog. And that's pretty much all the spots I really like. I think like if you wanted to do a D-Gen parlay, you take like Quinlan, you take Terrence McKinney, you take Mikhail Olszewski, you take Spivak, and then you take like Jamahal Hill, put all those guys together, and you get something like, I will tell you right now, you put those 5 guys together, you get plus 275. That's gross for a 5-leg parlay, but I mean, you're adding a minus 1,000 and a minus 700 into that.
It's like nothing, yeah.
So, I mean, what a good way to counter that is instead of taking the minus 1,000, take McKinney inside the distance at minus 470. And then you could also take that Mikhail dude. You either could take him by decision, or you could do like double chance and do like decision or KO. That's always a decent option. But if you did Mikhail inside the distance, McKinney inside the distance, then Spivak, Quinlan, and Hill, plus 485. I truthfully think there's a finish in all 5 of those fights. So if you literally did like Hill inside the distance, Quinlan inside the distance, Spivak inside the distance, McKinney inside the distance, and Olszewski inside the distance, you probably are getting
that's not bad.
A pretty parlay. But Spivak, that line's not even out for inside the distance. Jamahal Hill's minus 165 inside the distance. Quinlan 185. I mean, even that 4-legger without Spivak's plus 450 for all those guys to win inside the distance. So not bad.
Yeah. So yeah, I only have like 3 pretty much bets right now. It's Quinlan and Luque. straight up midlines, about 2.5 units to win 3.5 units. Then I got Myra Belina Silva, 1 unit to win 1 unit. She's at plus 105 now, so it looks like the line's continuing to go the other way. Then I have Lipsky by 3-round decision. It's like 0.7 units to win a unit. So that's all I got. I'm sure I'm going to make a couple more. But yeah, there's a lot of juice lines this card. And obviously there's going to be some dogs coming out on top. So
yeah, there should be. I mean, I would not be surprised if like every single not every, but if like all but like 2 favorites won on this card, because I mean, most of the favorites have a pretty clear path to victory and a pretty clear advantage over their opponent.
For sure.
But we did it. We got all 12 fights. If you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like, a subscribe, drop a comment if you want. But we really appreciate you watching the video. And I will have timestamps out tomorrow. I'm literally going to go to bed after this. But yeah, appreciate everybody kicking it, watching the breakdown. Yeah, like I said, leave comments, constructive criticism, whatever it is. We appreciate it all. So everybody have a great night. My man Jay, appreciate you. Thanks for always tuning in. And we will catch you guys next time. Have a good night. And best of luck on all of your bets this week.
Yes, sir.